The cold, barren world of Zoreth 9 had once been a thriving colony, but now it lay in ruin. Its cities were reduced to rubble, and the atmosphere, once thick with the life-sustaining gases, was now almost entirely unbreathable. Only the bravest, and sometimes the most foolish, ventured here anymore. The distress signal came through on the deep space comms, crackling with static and broken words, yet unmistakable in its desperation. "Help, please. Zoreth 9, survivors. Need." The voice was weak, nearly drowned by the interference, but it was enough to spark an immediate response. It wasn't typical for humanity to answer such calls without knowing more, but the signal had been recognized as human. There were still people alive on Zoreth 9, and it wasn't in humanity's nature to leave anyone behind. Captain Emily Hartley was the first to take action. She stood in the command room of the Vigilance, a sleek starship designed for exploration and rescue missions. Her crew, a team of seasoned soldiers, engineers, and medical personnel, all looked at her expectantly. "Captain," Surgeon Kane asked, his eyes narrowing on the signal's source. "Should we even bother? The planet's practically a graveyard." Emily turned to him, her expression unwavering. "We don't leave people behind, Surgeon. We've seen enough worlds fall. If there's even a chance someone survived, we'll find them." The Vigilance shifted into hyperdrive, cutting through the black void of space. As they neared the planet, the devastation became clear. Jagged mountains where cities once stood, and the skies above were filled with ash and smoke. The planet's desolation was not natural. Something had destroyed the colonies, something far beyond the planet's capability to defend itself. But there was no time to investigate the cause now. They needed to save whoever was still out there. As the ship descended toward the planet's surface, Emily studied the data from the planet's sensors. The readings were faint signs of life, but barely enough to track. A small group of survivors, perhaps, struggling against overwhelming odds. The Vigilance landed in a flat expanse near a ruined city. The ship's engines powered down with a soft hum, and the crew donned their environmental suits. The planet's toxic atmosphere was too dangerous to breathe without protection. "Stay close," Emily ordered. "We don't know what's out there. Keep your weapons ready." The survivors had made their distress signal from an old communication tower near the heart of the city. The ruins were still smoldering from recent fires, and the air smelled of chemicals and decay. Their boots crunched on the shattered remnants of what had once been a busy street. After hours of searching, they finally found them, a small group of humans, ragged and hungry, crouched behind a collapsed building. They looked up as the crew approached, their faces gaunt with starvation, their eyes wide with fear and hope. "Captain, you came," one of them whispered, barely able to stand. His face was streaked with dirt and ash, and his voice was raspy from weeks of exposure to the planet's toxic air. He reached out, his hands trembling. Emily took a step forward. "We're here to help. What happened to you?" The man's eyes flickered with sadness. "We were attacked by the Khazarans. They came out of nowhere. They wiped out the colonies, killed so many. We've been hiding ever since." "Who's left?" Emily asked, her tone soft but firm. The man shook his head. "Not many. A handful of us. We couldn't fight them off. They have technology we can't even understand. But we're not giving up." Captain Hartley knelt in front of him, looking him dead in the eye. "You're not alone. We're going to get you out of here." Sergeant Kane stepped forward, scanning the area. "Captain, we need to move. The Khazarans could be close." Emily nodded. "Get them to the ship. I'll take care of the rest." As the survivors made their way toward the Vigilance, Emily looked out over the ruined city. She had seen worlds fall before, but this felt different. The people of Zoreth 9 had been left to die by the galaxy at large, but humanity had come. Humanity always came. With the survivors safely aboard the ship, the crew prepared to depart. The Khazarans might be powerful, but humanity had something they didn't: resilience. "We've got them," Emily said, her voice filled with determination. "Now it's time to show these invaders what happens when you mess with humanity." The Vigilance rose from the surface, streaking back into space, but Captain Hartley didn't intend to leave it there. The Khazarans had attacked, and they would answer for it. Humanity would not stand idly by while its people suffered. The next few hours were a blur of activity. Emily and her crew worked quickly, gathering intel from the survivors and preparing to strike back. The Pizarrans were not only a threat to Zoreth 9, they were a threat to humanity itself, and humanity would not tolerate that. "Captain, we've located their fleet," Lieutenant Grant said from the bridge. "They're nearby. There's a mothership. We can't get in close without risking a fight." "We don't need to get close," Emily replied, her lips curling into a smile. "We've got something better." With the survivors safely in the ship's medical bay, the Vigilance launched into a full-speed attack. It wasn't about winning a fight. It was about sending a message. Humanity was not to be underestimated. The Pizarrans were about to learn a lesson the hard way. The Vigilance darted through space, firing a barrage of weapons that took the enemy by surprise. The Khazarans had their advanced technology, but humanity had something far more dangerous: unity and sheer willpower. They weren't going to just defend their own. They were going to make sure that no one was ever left behind again. As the Khazaran mothership exploded in the distance, the survivors looked out at the stars, their faces filled with awe and relief. They had been saved, and more importantly, they had witnessed something they had never thought possible, a reminder that no matter how bleak things seemed, humanity would never give up. "Thank you," one of the survivors said, his voice barely above a whisper. Emily turned to face him, her eyes shining with unspoken pride. "It's what we do," she said simply. "Humanity always answers."